Hello there, Year 5, and welcome to your second computing lesson. I was really impressed with how you did in last week's, and this is now week week four's lesson for you to be getting on with. We're still using Purple Mash and we're still looking at to calculate, to use and create our own spreadsheets. But spreadsheets are not just about maths. And today we're going to be looking at how you can use a spreadsheet to find information based on letters. So if you haven't already, pause me, get your Purple Mash up and running so you can complete our work from today. At the end, there will be a short quiz just for you to show off that you have really understood what we've been doing today. And then you'll be able to talk this through with your teachers and hand in this piece of work. So let's share my screen and you can then see what you're getting up to today. Remember, if at any point you to pause me, have a go, look through what you're trying to create, and then have another go at this, that's absolutely fine as well, okay? Now, when you go on to Purple Mash, the important thing to think about is we're getting on to calculate again today. So to get onto there, you might find that I've set it for you in a to do. If it's not there, don't worry. If you go into the maths units across here, you can then access and get on to calculate through here as well. When you go on to calculate, you want to launch the app and you want to make it an advanced program. Okay, so just like last week, you want to go onto here and you want to set that sheet. So when we come onto here, it will come across and we want to put across, and this is what I'm going to be looking at working on today. So if you click on here, we go from non-advanced mode to advanced mode, and that's what we're looking for. Let me just come out of this and show you. And I can do that by clicking on this button here. So I want my A's and my B's. I want those to appear, okay? And I want to be able to have this information come through, all right? So click on this on the advanced mode, and then that comes through, and I've got my elements along here. Now, what we're going to be doing today and what we're going to be working on is we're testing the hypothesis about which letter is the most common in the English language. So that's what I've put in this top box here. I'm going to test out the hypothesis about which letter is the most common in the English language. And I'm going to first of all have a look and see is E the most common letter, and then which other letters are popular? What letters come up? So if I was writing a book, what letter would be the one that came up the most? And to do that, we need to use some different controls. So if you haven't already, open up to calculate. You might want to type in something into the top like I have got here, just to make sure you're at the same point as I am. Have a go now and see if you can get onto this point. Okay, did you do it? Are you at the same point as I am? Hopefully you are. Remember, you've always got these undo and redo buttons you can do to add in extra elements. And what I want you to do now is I just want you to write down the vowels going down the list across here. So I'm going to put A, E, I, O, and U. I'm going to put those letters across in there. And what I want to do is I want to find a way of counting within my spreadsheet how many A's, how many E's, how many I's, how many O's, and how many U's appear all together. Because I could always go through and count all the A's and E's and I's and O's and U's I've got in here, or I can try and put those across into the bottom here. To do that, I need to use a control. So in the box next to my A, I'm going to put a control that counts the number of A's. Okay, so to do that, you might find that your controls down on the colors. I'm going to go to this box on the side here, which are my controls. Click on that, and then it's the one with the glove with the counting tool. So this tool counts how many of a variable there is in a spreadsheet. Now, by variable, it means whatever's in the left-hand column. So my left-hand column, I've got A, so it's now going to count that for us and identify that. So if I click count, and then it tells me there are 7. So within my entire spreadsheet, there are 7 A's so far. I'm now going to go down to my E, and I'm going to put in again to count, and it will put in there are 15 E's so far. I'm going to do that for the rest. Can you have a go at doing that for me now and see if you can find out how many letters there are in yours altogether? Now, if you haven't typed into the top each of those parts there, you might have a different number of letters in your spreadsheet. So that's absolutely fine, but as long as a red box appears with those letters and numbers in. Right, do that now. Pause me and have a go. Did you do it? How do you have a go? I'm now going to complete mine by putting in each of these letters here across these lines here. So in here, I'm going to have my tool, and then finally my count for those. So that's now all the vowel sounds have been counted. And I can tell that from what I've written so far, E is the most popular letter because 15 have come through. Now, at this stage, guys, what I want you to be thinking about and doing is we can set this information as a graph. Now, if I highlight all of this information and make my blue go all around each of those here, I can then click on this graph feature up here, and it will create for me a chart with that information. So can you see on my chart title here, I have now got the number of E's, I's, O's, and U's. Now, if I go to pie chart, it then puts it into a pie chart for me as well, and it shows me the number of each of those elements. So you can have a play in a game. We're trying to see if you can create a chart based on your results. Have a go for that now for me, please. Okay, did you manage to create a chart from it? Did that work out okay for you? Isn't it clever how it changed the color? Because if it was all red in there, I wouldn't be able to see and tell. But in here, it's all red, but I go to my pie chart, it splits them all by different colors. So I've got those counts. Now, I want you for the rest of the session, just have a bit of a play with this and try and identify what we can find in terms of information about, is it the most common letter? Now, you can do this in lots of different ways. The first thing you could do is you could add in the other letters of the alphabet, B, C, and so on. Now, I've only got 8 cells across the other side, so I need to go down this plus button here to add in more cells. So I've got space to put in these further letters, and then I can put in other letters, and I can put in C in a piece of text. So I put in my C, and I put in D. I don't have to put in E because I've already put in E, but I carry on like that. I'm just going to put in a count again for each of these, and I can then start looking at which of these letters are most popular. Now, at the moment, I haven't got a lot of text inside of my spreadsheet. I can now go and try and find some more text from out on the internet to include on here. Now, what you could do to do this is I could go on to open a new tab. I could just go to Wikipedia, because that's the kind of software that I'm using. That'd be pretty fun. Okay, when I've then got that information, I can then just copy and paste that information from that page. And this is the only time I really Control-C to copy, go back to my Purple Mash. I can then put that in a box. And when I Control-V the box, you see now that it's put in more data for my letters here. So now if I, again, find and scroll through all my letters, I can then go up here to my graph and I can see which letters appear most. So still, it looks like for mine that E is the letter that appears most. Maybe that's because there are 2 in the word Excel, and that's going to appear pretty much quite a few times in the Excel grid. So have a go, have a play, see if you can create something using this software to find out more information about these letters. At the end, there will then be a short quiz for you to complete to make sure you've really understood this. And then next week, we'll look at what else we can do with to calculate. I hope you enjoy it, everyone. If you've got any questions, please do make sure you either go back through this video and check it again, or you speak to your teachers. Goodbye, Year 5.